You have nothing else to do at night before you go to sleep. Look at these things closely and see where the sources of our energy are. Coal, natural gas, crude oil, natural gas, plant liquid, nuclear, renewable, and all that. See where they're coming from. What part of it is from fossil fuel? What is the domestic production and imports? Where is the supply? Where is the, and where does it go? And that gives you the problem that your generation has to solve. On the renewable, I don't want to be discouraging you. I want to say this is a very, very long journey. It's not going to happen overnight because it's so damn low. Because even if you triple them, when you double them, which takes a tremendous amount of investment, still you're not really affecting the big picture. One of the reasons, again, this is for your background to read it, to see where we are. We're down here, why our price of gas is so much lower than the rest of the industrial world, because we subsidize, and our economy depends on that. Not going to show you this. Who said that? You asked how green is ethanol. It depends who you ask. There are different types of ethanol that can be produced. It can be produced from corn, from sugarcane, or what they call switchgrass, or wood chips, or other things. Algae is the new technology that's supposed to be the most promising, but it's infancy. When you look at this, when you look at the greenhouse gas emissions and the amount of land that you need to convert and the effect on the food, a lot of people argue that ethanol from corn, it may make the air cleaner in the urbanized areas, right? But in the terms of global greenhouse gases, it doesn't really help. Because when we get most of our ethanol from corn, like countries from Brazil and other places they get from sugarcane. In the continent United States, we do not have any environment, any climate that we can grow sugarcane, except in Hawaii. And then think about the export and bringing it all the way from Hawaii to mainland and processing and using. The greenhouse gas effects are going to be back to what corn was. For Brazil, it works because they plant the sugarcane right 2 miles from the city where they're selling the ethanol. And the plant is right there, and they harvest it, and they process it, and they bring it. But for us, the system is very different. It's not the new ways of producing ethanol, the switchgrass, which seems to be promising, wood residue, soybeans, and the canola, and algae is the most promising one, but algae is so new, it's new technology. But if we can master that, and we can do mass production of ethanol through algae and biodiesel through algae, that's going to be something that you guys are going to be talking about. Those of you who are science majors, who are interested in science, you will get more and more exposed to that. A little bit very quickly on the policy. I'm not going to get deep into this. We stopped the ethanol subsidies in 2011. But there's always an argument that, hey, you have already created this artificial demand for ethanol by the ethanol car vehicles, and so you're actually going to subsidize them by creating an artificial market for it. But that's another issue. But ethanol is heavily subsidized, and guess who gets those used to get those subsidies? Huge corporations. ADM, Archer Daniel Midlands. They're the ones who are getting, so there's a lot of politics involved in that. I want to share with you a couple of things so that I don't mean this in any cynical way. I just mean to share with you as you're entering the real world to know how the real world works and what are the forces that you're dealing with that you have to maneuver your way around to come up with a new generation of cars, a better way of doing sustainable infrastructure, a better way of doing fuel. This is why oil and gas companies are contributing to political campaigns. These are millions of dollars. Okay? This is what the automotive industry has been, these are millions of dollars. Between the two of them, those people that are spending like $60, $70 million a year in the peak to political campaigns, those people are super smart people, super, super smart people. I work with some of them. They are not dummies. They're not going to throw $60, $70 million of their money away if they don't get billions in return in terms of policies and all that. I would like to share with you, I'm going to skip the next slide, I will share with you this one. This is a myth that we have looked at very closely, that the oil prices, actually it's going to start affecting people's behavior. And only if the oil price is going to go up, people are going to go start driving electric cars and all that. Heck no. Look at the oil prices. They're all over the place. Look at the US consumption. Doesn't affect. How many of you remember what was the price of gasoline the last time you filled your tank?
$4.
Huh?
$4.
Yeah, she remembers the exact amount. Most of our people don't even know. The price of gasoline fluctuates by 50, 60 cents in 2 weeks. The price of gasoline fluctuated by 70 cents in the last 3-4 weeks. Most people don't even acknowledge. They just go and fill their tank. If it costs more, it costs more. They buy one less cup of coffee at Starbucks. Or at the end of the month, they put more on their credit card. She's laughing back there. Yeah, less coffee at Starbucks. So all these hoopla about gas prices and price of gasoline up and down and this and that really doesn't affect the consumption. Why? Because we don't have an alternative fuel that is, first, can be produced at quantity and has a good delivery system. I just gave you the example of ethanol and the gas stations. You can sell all the ethanol cars that you want, but as long as out of 6,000 gas stations, the president's ambitious plan puts only 10,000 of them with ethanol fuel, how are we going to change? How are we going to change this crazy cycle that we have? This is a study that we did actually. This is a study that my staff and I did. When the prices went up, we did a survey, we hired a firm and we did the survey. And we finished this in 2005, 2006. We wanted to see how does the rising gas prices impact driving habits and lifestyle. And we categorized it in different sections, and I have a whole study, if you're interested in reading the whole study. And we saw what people do. You started to use public transportation more, combined trips, and a whole gamut of stuff. We wanted to see the effect of gasoline prices on changing travel behavior, what really comes out of it. Very briefly, when I was going to college, when I did my undergrad in 1970s back east, I had a professor who said, by the year 2010, the world is going to be out of oil. There's going to be something else. I don't know what it is, okay? I've heard the story for the last 30 plus years that people say, we're running out of oil, we're running out of oil. And the world is running on empty, and we're going to run out of oil. You can see studies that they say, oh, okay, by the year 41, I mean, the total world supply is going to go 41. By the way, notice the country that has the longest supply. There is a reason we invaded Iraq. They have the largest supplies over there. These are the politics of the oil and the politics of transportation. You have to be very, very cognizant about. You have to be very aware about that. These are what's happening and in the transportation. And without getting into that, let me talk about this a little bit. The problem, the trade-offs that we have. The trade-offs for transportation is that the ones that have the highest impact, their costs are so damn low. And the ones that have the lowest impact, their cost is so damn high. And until we do not break that cycle, nothing is going to happen. You can't control here because there is still plenty of oil out there. There's the infrastructure out there. There's the delivery system. There's the reliability of technology and all the other crap that goes with it. The problem here, the technology is there, but how do you do it? Every time the price of oil goes up, a whole bunch of venture capitalists come and put their money here, okay, in the new technology. And what happens? As soon as the prices come down, they are priced out. And they lose a couple $1 billion. They do tax write-off, they move to the next venture. Let me show you this also. That's another thing that's going to control the future. This is the capacity up to year 2010. These are real numbers after this is projection. The capacity of refineries in the United States has pretty much peaked. And nobody's going to build any refineries in the United States anymore. Period. We can't. Because the environmental process, the EIR, is going to kill you. It's like nuclear power plants. We are not going to build nuclear power plants because you can't get your permit. The regulatory agency process, the EIR, it's going to take 30 years. Who wants to do stuff like that? This is a promise. This is an advantage. By our, I mean the people who want to change and make it more sustainable.